I will say this. I know only like a handful of musicians who I don't think would be fooled by Jack Berkman. Keith Buckley is one. Keith Buckley is a smart guy. I don't think he would be fooled by Jack Berkman. But Moby, some tall tales.
Yeah. Although you got to say, if you're going to have someone put someone's hand on your dick, make it Donald Trump because it would look really big because his hands are so fucking small. Am I right? He's got small hands, so the dick would look big in the small hands because his hands are small.
Yeah. Well,
Donald Trump.
Donald
Trump has a hand in his fucking dick every day when he claps because he's a dick. My name's Trevor Noah, and this is Pod Save the Daily Show.
Well, this is sort of turning into a self-care, self-harm episode of the show, and I think now would be an appropriate time to check in on one of our favorite characters and simply ask ourselves, is David Brooks okay?
Yeah, what's going on,
What's he up
Dave?
to?
What's going on with
what's
you?
up with his feelings?
I hear that David Brooks has terminal imposter syndrome. Prayers up.
I hear he's in his feelings, whatever that means.
Yeah, no, David Brooks continues to have feelings and share them with the world. And on the occasion of the publication of his next best-selling book called The Second Mountain, there has been
it's about tits. Real mature, David.
There's been an avalanche of profiles of him about his supposed flirtations with becoming a Christian, moving from being Jewish to Christian, and his new bride,
his child bride,
his child bride, who is a very serious evangelical Christian herself.
You met an evangelical Christian at Yale, David. You are the magic man.
No, that we've fans of the show will remember we've checked in on this storyline before. He met her when he was his research assistant on his last book called The Road to Character, which is about how to live a moral and virtuous life.
Yeah. Well, most guys
I almost said wife.
Most guys have to take the road to character to find the clit.
So his new book is called The Second Mountain, and this has come out after his second marriage. And he's in a new stage in his life. He's feeling things that he hasn't felt in a long time because he's been imbued by the love of a much younger woman. I'm just going to read here from the jacket copy for The Second Mountain to give you just sort of an idea of where his headspace is at before we go into some of these profiles of him. Every so often, you meet people who radiate joy. Their names are Jacob Wool and Jack Berman. No, every so often you meet people who radiate joy, who seem to know why they were put on this earth, who glow with a kind of inner life. Life, for these people, has often followed what we might think of as a two-mountain shape. They get out of school, they start a career, and they begin climbing the mountain they thought they were meant to climb. Their goals on this first mountain are the ones our culture endorses: to be a success, to make your mark, to experience personal happiness. But when they get to the top of that mountain, something happens. They look around and find the view unsatisfying. They realize this wasn't my mountain after all. There's another, bigger mountain out there that is actually my mountain. So in case you were wondering, is there a New York Times columnist capable of basing a book on a more fatuous metaphor than even Thomas Friedman? Your answer is yes. And it's David Brooks and his second mountain, which he's using to describe some sort of midlife crisis when you're like, I'm David Brooks. I know all the right people. I'm friends with all the smartest people. But for some reason, there's an emptiness inside of me that is just unquenchable. Because
I don't want to fuck my wife anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. I'm bored of that pussy. I want an upgrade. That's it.
In this book, this book is meant to help us all lead more meaningful lives, but it's also provocative social commentary. We live in a society, Brooks argues, that celebrates freedom.
Gamers rise up.
That tells us to be true to ourselves at the expense of surrendering to a cause, rooting ourselves in a neighborhood, binding ourselves to other by social solidarity and love. We have taken individualism to the extreme, and in the process, we have torn the social fabric in 1,000 different ways. The path to repair is through making deeper commitments. In The Second Mountain, Brooks shows what can happen when we put commitment making at the center of our lives.
You mean after decommitting?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
To the marriage that you
sometimes like you realize when you get
whole life.
to the top of the second mountain, you actually realize it's a mountain on the bottom of the ocean, and you're there because there's some sort of anchor tied around your neck that's dragged you to the bottom, and now hagfish are consuming your bloated, pale corpse. But there is a way out to the mountain and the surface, if only you get rid of that first anchor and find a second anchor that's actually a balloon that will take you to the top, and you will see everything. Okay, so like I said, this has inspired a number of profiles of David and his sort of, I guess you could say, religious and emotional questioning at this point in his life, because I think, a lot of the people who read the New York Times and the Washington Post sort of identify with this type of character. So this is the first one in New York Magazine. Let's start here. It says, it was 2013, and David Brooks was in the wilderness. Not the literal desert or jungle or anything like that, but the emotional wilderness of an accomplished man who, in midlife, has discovered a deep emptiness at his core.
Horniness. He's horny.
I like it took David Brooks this long to realize that he's an utterly empty person.
Yeah. He wrote
all those years writing
years
for the
ago about the goal for life is to have a patio. He talked about patio.
Oh, we'll get into the patio man.
David
they
Brooks,
come back.
David Brooks is kind of like, he's like a reverse Xer. Like, he starts out, like, when he was younger, he starts out being like, yeah, all you need is a patio, a Lexus. You go to the farmer's market, listen to jazz done by, like, 47-year-old white guys named Keith.
But how could you not know, oh, this is absolutely empty and vapid and will only lead to hollowness?
I don't know. You think that his years of writing for the Weekly Standard might have given him a clue that he was just basically hollow inside. But, but when again, your marriage of 27 years, when it falls apart, the genteel conservatism in which he was nurtured and raised was morphing into something craven, naked, and raw. Lonely and living alone in an apartment in Washington, D.C., Brooks, 52 at the time, took stock and saw that in his rise to the pinnacle of American punditry, he had failed to make or keep meaningful friendships. And what was happening to him? Brooks writes in his new book, The Second Mountain, was happening on a nationwide scale. The crisis in our politics is created by the crisis in our sociology and in our relationships and in our morals, he told me, looking preppy, eager, and somewhat slighter than I'd imagined as we sat drinking coffee at a chain restaurant near Carnegie Hall. I love that he extrapolates this out, that like this personal feeling of emptiness that I have inside as being just a sold out fucking shell who, let's be honest, if you rise to the top of American punditry, you're either a sociopath or essentially empty as a person without, value, morality, or friends.
Yes.
Right? So he's like, yeah, could it be that what I'm feeling is actually a crisis that our entire country is experiencing right now? It's like, no, most people are just stressed out because they don't have access to, a doctor.
Yeah, right.
Or their job is literally killing them every fucking day.
Also, I'm confused. So, according to David Brooks, throughout his career, he has said that, you don't need to redistribute wealth to make people have more stable lives. They just need to have better values, because if you get married, that'll make your life more stable and you'll thrive. Shouldn't he, as soon as he got divorced, have instantly lost everything and become a fucking hobo? I mean, that his whole argument, the argument of social conservatism, is that they switch it and say that marital and relationship instability is the cause of economic struggle, not the other way around. So he should have become instantly homeless, like fucking Mel Brooks in Life Stinks. What the hell happened? He kept all of his money. I don't get it.
Well, what happened?
Half of it anyway.
What happened was David Brooks.
Still a shitload of money.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, what happened was David Brooks. There was a situation similar to the movie Antichrist with him and his wife, and they're both their most prized product of their Bose home stereo fell out of a window, and they had just raw primalistic sex, an over the pants hand job while watching Ken Burns. And really, you can't go back to your marriage after that.
They're walking through some sort of the midden of a dark forest, and they just peer under a shrub, and there's just some blood-soaked little fox fetus that just stares up and looks at him and goes, "We're experiencing a crisis of morals in our society."
Yeah.
Oh, pain, grief, and despair. That is the David Brooks oeuvre, the three beggars. So he goes, just continuing here, he says, but
did you know that they actually had to use a prosthetic dick for David Brooks too? He's packing. It was like too big. It was distracting. That's why New York Times pivoted away from video. David Brooks' huge cock was like too distracting for people.
So yeah, he's in a funk. But it says, but Brooks picked himself up. He landed a gig. Where else? Yale. Teaching a class about what else? Humility, with a syllabus including works by Edmund Burke, Reinhold Niebuhr, and himself.
Nothing better than having a fucking course on humility where you fucking assign your own goddamn book.
His emotionally arid existence bloomed again thanks to the loving presence of a woman, Anne Schneider, his researcher at the New York Times and 23 years his junior. After years of chaste but charged email exchanges on subjects such as Dorothy Day and St. Augustine, Snyder agreed.
Now that is a courtship.
Snyder agreed to go on a date with Brooks in 2016. They married in 2017.
That's some modern Abelard and Hillary shit right there.
I would love to see their sex. What are you wearing right now? I'm wearing Gant, pleated khakis, barber quilted English hunting coat. Seven layers of collared shirts.
That's her.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I'd love to put a fucking scarf on you. You make me so fucking hard. Just imagining going to a book fair with you.
Did you?
I would love to swap out your bookmark and replace it with mine. Hey, you fucking like that?
Did you know that St. Augustine himself was horny at one time or another?
No,
So-
Confessions is a great book. I mean, I don't like that he stole the title from Usher, but because he just fucks nonstop. But the thing where he thinks he's like furthest from God is when he steals pears.
When he steals pears, yeah. That was in the Rosie Gray piece, actually.
Yeah. Katie McHugh read the pear stealing thing, and she was like, "Yeah, this is like watching a guy try to throw a log, behind a strip mall. This is the same shit." But Augustine
He
fucked.
He was a Zen Star pimp.
I'm just imagining Brooks setting up their first fuck session at like a Wyndham, like Matthew Broderick in Election.
And they would be greeted by the Wyndham Wizard.
The Wyndham Wizard was there. He'll watch you fuck.
Tormund Giantsman was like, "Welcome, David Brooks, to your first post-marriage sexual assignation." The Wyndham pervert.
This is
Okay, wait. There's more about David Brooks
pervert.
fucking. I need to get to.
Hell yes. This is what I'm about.
Blah blah blah.
I'm fixing the nut right now.
Blah blah blah. They married. The second mountain purports to describe hyper individualism. Blah 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 blah. It would not be hyperbole to say that it is also, both explicitly and between the lines, a gushing paean to
It's
romance.
gushing, all right.
It's a gushing paean
It's a squirting pan.
to romance. That's Pete. by
Joe
the way.
Dirt. I got the pan on me.
A gushing pan to romance from a gobsmacked man happily rediscovering sex. As such, it is full of cringe-worthy aphorisms.
Oh boy.
Love, writes Brooks, plows open the hard crust of our personality and exposes the fertile soil below.
Oh, I love thinking about this. I absolutely think of David Brooks taking the crust off his dick.
He's on a fucking, he's on one of those tucked in hotel beds. They haven't even taken the sheets off, and he's got the sock garters on and just going to town on a
I love the
person.
idea of David Brooks taking his dick out of his khakis and it talks to him like like the bullets in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Hey, taking us out for a spin again, huh, boss?
Oh my god.
His dick has the same wireframe glasses.
Shit. Fuck. I'm not going to be able to think of anything other than that for the rest of my life.
Oh, I'm gonna
Isn't
be,
one of the bullets like a prospector?
Yes,
character?
yeah.
You're like, we're going into her gulch, damn varmint.
There's gold in that dark second mountain.
All right, well, that's it for this episode.
Oh, god damn it.
Go.
Oh,
All right,
man.
a few more here. This is Again, the details about their love of Augustine and Dorothy Day are repeated in the Washington Post, New York Magazine, and the New Yorker. It's just like, why do we need 3 people to write these articles?
There is so much coverage of this guy fucking.
Yeah.
He must be amazing at it.
Also, I love that
that's every time he fucks, it's like every time Guiado talks. Like there's just like 75 international agencies that are like, who came first, David?
I love that it's always the same. They're always impressed. Ooh, their relationship is so rich and cultured. Doris Day and St. Augustine. It's just those are just that. Give me a third, at least one more name for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean Doris Day was funny.
Give me a third. That's what David Brooks will be selling to young Anne about a year and a half or so into this next marriage.
I mean Doris Day was funny, but how much can you talk about her?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, this is from the New Yorker profile of this exact same subject.
Holy shit!
An old depressed man getting laid again.
How much? Oh my God! This is like if there was international coverage of Kirk Van Houten. Like this is amazing. There's how many? Like, think of all the man hours dedicated to asking this guy about what it's like to fuck as a middle-aged man.
Well, that's the thing. They're doing it because, like with the people sympathetic to the Nazi lady who wants to get back into the media, these people are all him and relating. They highly relate to getting horny and middle-aged and wanting to fuck a younger woman.
All right, this is great. So they're describing a sort of a road to Damascus moment for David Brooks here. One morning, passing through Penn Station at rush hour, Brooks was overcome by the feeling that he was moving in a sea of souls. Not the hair and legs and sneakers, but the moral part. It was like suddenly everything was illuminated, and I became aware of an infinite depth on each of these thousands of people. They were living souls.
In
Brooks.
Penn Station,
In
David?
Penn Station, I've never had that feeling.
Yeah, in Penn Station, you're just constantly like, it's just guys coming back from their weekend house in Connecticut trying to cut you in line to get a watery latte. It's probably one of the most soulless places.
Oh God,
I've ever
it's like
been in my
when you're
fucking
there,
life.
all you feel is meat. Like everyone is meat.
Well, no, actually, I feel like Dwayne Hoover in Breakfast of Champions, in which I'm convinced that everyone else is a robot and I'm the only real person. And they don't matter. They're not real. So the fact that he's having this religious experience in Penn Station, which honestly, if you haven't been there, is the
Garbage.
most miserable place in the world.
Subterranean shithole.
This is literally like if Christ appeared to you in the M&M store. Like,
But the funny thing is, I could imagine having a similar feeling walking into the huge vaulted ceiling of Grand Central Station and having
or the original Penn Station.
Or the original, yeah, you could having that kind of grandeur of just seeing lives going on and people hustling about. But that's not the interesting thing about this. So he goes, I had, for the first time, felt an infinite depth on each of these thousands of people. They were living souls, Brooks writes in his book, The Second Mountain. Suddenly it seemed like the most vivid part of reality was this.